Hi, so here we have a question asking about two jobs with different rates of pay, and we're being asked to write equations for them and graph them and figure out what the graph means. So we're just going to jump right into it, but before we do that, I am going to make the decision that this is only going to be graphed over the course of 1 month, and the equation will be over the course of 1 month, because it gets really complicated once you add, or it gets a little bit more complicated once you add the possibility of this happening over a year, for example. So I'm assuming that your instructor is expecting this over the course of 1 month, but if not, then you can just extend this to the best of your abilities. It really depends on what your instructor expects. I suspect this is meant over the course of 1 month, so we're going to go from there. For letter A, then, we need to write an equation that represents the pay for each job offer. So for job A, we're going to be earning $12 an hour plus 100 flat. So we're going to write this as Y, where Y is going to be your amount of money at the end of the month, equals, so 12x, where X is, so let's see here, Y is going to be money at the end of the month, and X is going to be the amount of hours you worked. So for every 12 hours you work, or for every hour you work, you earn $12, plus you earn $100 at the very end of the month. For job B, and that's for job A. For job B, your money at the end of the month is just equal to 16 times how many hours you worked. It's that simple. And that's your answer for letter A. For letter B, we need to graph these. It's going to be easier to start with with the graph for B, where Y equals 16x. So we know that at the beginning of the month, you have $0. So we'll start at 0, 0. You've worked no hours. You have no money. And at the end of the month, just where this graph ends, let's say you worked 40 hours, and this can extend past then. So at 40, we're going to go all the way up to 40 times 16, which is 640. So right about there. And this line will continue on forever, as long as you work. And the second equation, well, this equation assumes that we're going to be drawing this as if you started with $100. I'll show you that first. So if you work 40 hours, it's 100 plus 40 times 12, which is 580, which is right about here. And that's going to continue to go on forever as well. Like I said, this question, it really depends on how many hours you work. If you work 10 hours, for example, this is this is B and this is A. So if you work 10 hours in a month, then working position A would be better. The fewer hours you work, the more that bonus is like an oomph. The more that bonus, the more of a percentage of your total that bonus is. Well, fine, that's part B. Now let's circle this intersection point right here. Explain what it represents in terms of the context of your problem. We don't have to, it doesn't look to me like we have to find this point, but this point is where, so if this is your Y equation, if this is your equation of your line, how much money you've made, then this intersection point represents the number of hours at which or when your pay is equal for the month. So when they intersect, A and B have made you the same amount of money, and everything past that, job B is going to make you more money, and everything past that, job A is going to make you less money. So what job would you decide to take to make the most money, and explain your reasoning? Well, it depends. Are you going to work about 30 hours a week? If you're going to work less than that, you probably want to take job B. If you're going to work more than that, a full-time job, then you're going to want to take I may have misspoken. If you work less than 30, you want to take position A. If you take more than 30, you want to take position B. So it all depends on how much you're going to work in that month. There you go.